Hello everyone, welcome to the BTS of Conversation series. Well, this conversation series, it came about while I was recording a video and I was working on it. I planned on it, so it's like one of the, I think the last video of the interviews series that we had. You know, the first episode, if you guys have watched, I just introduced my special guest. I was asking like, what's your name? How old are you? When were you born? And what do you eat for breakfast, and what do you drink for? So if you watched the first episode, if you watched that episode, in the interviews we talked about the video games, and then in the end we just talked about an introduction just before, you know, like just before I came to Kenya. So we just made a video just what I've done in Sweden just before I came to Kenya. And then how, as I was working that video, the last video that I just recorded, which was released in the interview series, this came about. So I was like, let me make a conversation just to talk and take a new chapter from Sweden to Kenya. So how I came to Kenya and all that. So mostly that series was like focusing on Kenya. So we like conversation series. That's how it came about. So I came out this mind, and then as I was recording it, if you know that at the end of the video, just before the video ended, we just teased that project, that series that will be out. So that's how I came about it. The reason why I wanted to release conversation series is because it takes you to like a new journey. You know, I just want to talk about the life in Kenya. So that was like most of, part in Sweden. So I was like, let me take that part. So let me take a new life. How I learned. So as you watch the first episode, it talks about the Quranic studies when I arrived in Kenya, and what was the first thing I studied, what is the first school I went. So I just described that I went to a madrasa school where I learned the Quran. So that's the first thing. So I did study like in 2018 and 19, that section where you learn the Quran. So more of like what I've done in Kenya. And then I also talked about the those music artists and what videos I grew up, generally speaking. So it's like more whether in Sweden or Kenya, just like in the weekend. I don't know, when I went for vacation, I think in Egypt, and when my family visited me, and I went to Somalia, as you can. And my final episode, which was out on the 1st August, I just talked about the when I went to Mecca and Umrah. When I was in Sweden, by the way, that was in 2016, when I went to Mecca and Medina to perform Umrah. So that's why I wanted to release it. So I think that's it. So the difference between the series that we have for the interview, quiz, and Swedish is because, as you know, quiz, I just ask a question and then my guest answers it. And here, and the interview is like when I just talk one part of it and then my guest answers it. And in some videos of my interview series, you find that there is no guest asking, so it's just me interviewing myself. I'm just asking myself as I'm here today. This picture, as you can see, maybe a different shirt, but you see me wearing the cap and wearing maybe a white or a different t-shirt, as you guys know. And then I describe about it, about that incident, like the last episode, which I talked about what I've done before when I came to Kenya. I think that's what it's called. It talks about that I went to the town when I was in Sweden. When I came out from the school, I used to go to the train. I went to the mall. I used to go to the town. You know, so. And the difference is that this series, so we ask one part and then my guest answers it, and then another part, and then I switch the camera to the guest and then he'll answer it, and then like 3 or 4 main parts. And then also the difference is that the length of the video. So like the first video might be like somewhere 11 minutes, in one video it's like 12 minutes, and episode 5 is like almost 15 minutes, but 14 and 52 seconds, something like that. If you guys know, you guys will see that you see that the video is longer than, but some of the videos I didn't have that much idea. That's why it was like 7 minutes, and the last video I don't know exactly. So the length is a bit more, you know. So it's the videos of the episodes are longer. So that's how I can differentiate it. And also another difference is that also I try to edit better, you know. I try to make a subtitle as I'm editing the app that I use. I usually use CapCut, if you guys know. So, and I edit the audio. I put the audio effect, like the microphone, you know, mic hog, I think. And then I try to make the audio to be as perfect as I want it to be. So, and also I just try to put the cover of the series, as you guys will see, which is written in a conversation series just before it starts. And then what I also did is that I listed some of the videos, like episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. as you guys can know, like the full list. And then in some of them I said episode 6 coming soon, episode 7 is coming soon, and then when you reach the episode 8, the final episode, I asked all of the episodes that I wanted there. So that's how the difference in my edit was. So I tried to make it as perfect as I can. So in the beginning I didn't know how to do it, but I learned something more, so I wanted to improve. So it's just improving. That's how I can say. Yes, I had a plan. Every episode, like for example, episode 1, I would write on the paper what I wanted to talk about. So like I came up with an idea. So I used to think about my head what I wanted to. So I write it. Okay, what's the topic will be? Episode 1, the name of the series, and then I would say like, okay, this is what we're gonna talk about. So I'm gonna ask my special guest today and all that. So yeah, it's like more of we just talking to one another, which is a little bit longer than you could see from my interview series and my quiz and my Swedish. As for Swedish, it's almost related as quiz. So we ask question in Swedish, as you guys know. So that's how the difference was. So I always write on a paper, and then after I recorded, when I recorded the trailer, and then I recorded that episode. So I didn't release them when all episodes were ready. No. When I recorded the first episode, I just released the trailer. So that's why you could see in many of the shorts, I announced when the episode will be out, when it's gonna be delayed. You can see. So that's how the difference on my series it was. So every plan I would plan. So it's like a fast project, you can know, and it was released gradually. So I released episode 1. I was supposed to release the following week episode 2, but because I wasn't done with editing, I had to delay. So I announced it on the show that I'm gonna delay it, and then episode 2 like that. So when I released episode 2, after 2 weeks I released episode 3. But for episode 4, episode 5 and 6 and 7, after each and every week I would release. So after the following week I would release episode 5, the following episode 6, episode 7. But episode 8, because it wasn't ready, so I was like, let me just add another week, let me make it to be in 1st August. That's how it came out. And now you could see that, as I said, the series will be finalized on 1st August. So that's how it came out. So I didn't release those episodes while all episodes were ready. So once one of my episodes, when it was ready, I would release them, and then another time I would plan on what to talk about episode 2, episode 3, episode 5, like that. I would write on a paper, and then I start to record the video, and then I edit it and I release it. No, I didn't really plan on how many episodes it will be, as usual. But I was thinking of maybe this might be last, maybe that might be. So as I came about it, so many things came to my idea. What would be episode 6, episode 7, and episode 8? So I was like, let me make episode 8 as my final. So that's how it came about, because I felt like I don't have that much idea. So let me just make episode 8. I don't want to make it too long. So then I announced it in a video that episode 8 probably will be my last. Maybe I said episode 9 and 10 because I wasn't sure about it, but since now I'm sure about it, I said like episode 8 should be my last episode. So I was like, and maybe, and after that I was like, we just continue as it is. So at the end I just planned it, and I also released a short announcing that my final episode will be like episode 8, and I just announced that the episode 8 will be out on 1st August. Right now we don't have any plan. We didn't plan about the new series, what it will be about, but we're gonna plan it. And once I plan it, and once I record at least some of the videos, then I'm gonna share with you guys. I'm gonna announce it on a post. I'm gonna tease it, what it's gonna be about, and what will be the name about it. So that's how it's gonna be about. So right now we don't have any plan, but once we have plan, and once we record it, I'll let you know when it will be about. And once we're done doing the project, inshallah, we're gonna release them gradually, as you know. So I'm gonna share with you guys some updates and how it to be about. So I think that answers your question.